Hey everyone, welcome to Excel Insider. Today I'll show you an easy way to turn latitude and longitude coordinates into UTM, Universal Transverse Mercator coordinates using a VBA macro in Microsoft Excel 365. For this tutorial, we are working with a worksheet where column A contains the latitude values and column B contains the longitude values. Our goal is to generate precise UTM coordinates efficiently and display them in column C. Let's get started. In first method, we will create a VBA Visual Basic for Application macro to calculate the UTM zone and hemisphere from a given latitude and longitude. Here's how to do it. Before we begin, first ensure the Developer tab is visible. Right-click on any tab at the top and select Customize the Ribbon option. This opens up Excel Options dialog box. In the Customize Ribbon tab, on the right-hand side, scroll all the way down and check on the Developer option. Click OK. Now the Developer tab should be visible. Click on the Developer tab. In the Code section, select Visual Basic. This opens up Visual Basic Editor. At the top, click on Insert and select Module. In the new module, paste this code. Let's quickly break it down. This piece of code creates a function. In the first line, starts the function and tells Excel it will take latitude and longitude as inputs and return a text string. Line 2 and 3 creates two variables, zone for the UTM zone number and hemisphere for the north or south. Line 4 calculates the UTM zone based on longitude. Next lines from 5 to 9 initiates an if condition and checks if latitude is north or south of the equator and assigns letter N or S accordingly and ends the condition. In line 10, combines the zone and hemisphere into a string like zone 32n, which is the function's output. And finally, the last line ends the function. In short, this function converts latitude and longitude into a readable UTM zone with hemisphere, ready to use in Excel. Close the VBA editor and return to the worksheet. Let's test the function that we have just created. In cell C2 or any empty cell, type this formula equals lat lon to UTM. This is the function we have just created. In the first argument, select the latitude, which is cell A2, comma. In the second argument, select the longitude, which is cell B2. Close the bracket and hit enter. The function takes the latitude and the longitude coordinates and converts them into a UTM coordinate. Pull down the fill handle to autofill. That's it. Column C now displays the UTM zone and hemisphere for each coordinate pair. On to the next method. In second method, we will use an advanced VBA macro to calculate the precise UTM easting and northing coordinates in meters in addition to the zone. Let's begin. Head to the Developer tab. In the Code section, click on Visual Basic. This opens up the VBA editor. At the top, press Insert and select Module. This opens up a new module. Enter this code in the new module. Let's understand this code. Let's go through the three VBA functions that calculates UTM coordinates. In the first function, getUTMZone, in the first line starts the function and names it getUTMZone. In lines 2 and 3, creates two boxes called variables for zone number to store the UTM zone and hemisphere to store the north or south. Line 4 calculates the zone number based on longitude. Next 4 lines from line 5 to 9 initiates an if condition and determines the hemisphere. If the latitude is 0 or higher, it's north, otherwise south, and ends the condition. The 10th line combines the zone and hemisphere into a string, like 32n. And finally, the last line of the code for the function ends the function. Let's move to the second function. The second function is UTM easting. In first line of code of the function, starts the function to calculate easting in meters. From line 2 to 5 defines the constants, the Earth's radius, flattening, scale factor, and the eccentricity. The next two lines, line 6 and 7, calculates the UTM zone number and central longitude. Followed by lines 8 to 10 converts the latitude, longitude, and central longitude into radians. Lines 11 to 15 creates intermediate variables needed for the UTM formula, like N, T, C, A term, and M. After that, from line 16 to 19, calculates the meridional arc M. In the next line, which is line 20, begins easting calculation with series expansion. Line 21 applies the full easting formula and adds 500,000 meters as the false easting. And finally, line 22 ends the function. Let's move to the third function. The third function, which is getUTM_northing, the first line of code starts the northing function. From line 2 to 19 are similar to easting formula, like the constants, zone, radians, and intermediate variables. Line 20 and 21 calculates the northing using the UTM projection formula. Followed by the next two lines, line 22 to 23, adjust for the southern hemisphere by adding 10 million meters if latitude is below 0. And the final last two lines ends the if condition and the function. Here is a summary. GetUTM zone gives you the zone and hemisphere. GetUTM easting calculates the east coordinate in meters. And finally, getUTM_northing calculates the north coordinates in meters, correcting for the southern hemisphere. Together, these functions take latitude and longitude and return full UTM coordinates ready to use in Excel. This macro is fully automatic, precise, and works for any point on Earth. Close the VBA and return to the worksheet. Let's verify the three functions we have just created using VBA. In cell C2 or any helper cell, type this formula for easting. Equals get UTM easting. For the first argument, select the latitude, which is cell A2, comma, for the second argument, select the longitude, which is cell B2. Close the bracket. Hit enter. The function uses the coordinates to calculate the UTM easting values, which is the horizontal distance from the central meridian of the UTM zone. Let's try out the getUTM_northing formula in cell D2. Type equals getUTM_northing. For the first argument, again, select the latitude, which is cell A2, comma, for the second argument, select the longitude, which is cell B2. Close the bracket and hit enter. The function takes the coordinates and calculates the UTM_northing value, which is the vertical distance from the equator in the UTM system. And finally, let's try out the getUTM_zone function. Head to the column E or any column of your choice and type this formula. Equals getUTM_zone. Enter the latitude, comma, the longitude, and close the bracket and hit enter. The function uses these coordinates to determine the UTM zone number for the location. Select cells C2, D2, and E2 and drag down to autofill. We now have a complete set of precise UTM coordinates for every latitude and longitude in our list. So there you have it, two different ways to convert latitude and longitude to UTM coordinates in Excel. Download the workbook link below. Visit Excel Insider for more Excel and Google Sheet tutorials. Feel free to comment your questions and feedback. Thanks for watching.